Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. I want to go over a few things today. We're going to talk a little bit about Ripple, XRP, the SEC, the Federal Reserve. We're going to get into a little bit about new partnerships coming up with Canton and Zebec. And then we want to get into a little bit more to finalize about, the XRP reserves that are coming out. So let's not hesitate any further and let's just start diving in. First article I was bringing up today is here's why Ripple becoming a bank is huge for XRP. And also, too, this is good for RLUSD, but we're going to get into a little bit of that as well because let's go with Crypto Bull. Hello, my friend. Recently shared a video discussing Ripple's upcoming transformation into a regulated bank, and he emphasized the significance of the development for XRP. And let's just jump down to, because I think this is kind of getting to our point as well. So Ripple's National Trust Bank plans, Ripple pursuing their National Trust Bank charter, and officially referred to as Ripple National Trust Bank. The charter allows Ripple to operate under federal oversight, and the bank will manage custody services, settle transactions, and support stablecoin reserves. Also, it will not accept traditional retail deposits or issue consumer loans, but Ripple's goal is to provide regulated infrastructure for institutional payments and digital asset management. But also, to further step into the information a little bit, the U.S. Office of Comptroller of Currency, the OCC, did conditionally approve the charter in December of 2025, just before the new year. And that approval allows Ripple to move forward with setting up the bank while meeting federal requirements. And, kind of pointing out something too, as far as, like basically with Ripple creating RLUSD, what's pretty huge about that is Standard Chartered just recently came out and said they think that stablecoins could create more treasury demand than most central banks, and they've predicted stablecoin market will hit $2 trillion by 2028 and potentially generating $1 trillion in new treasury bill demand for the U.S. Treasury. So that's going to boost the T-bills as well in the 30-year bond auctions. But let's step back into this article as well, because XRP's role in the banking system, the creation of the RNTB, the Ripple Bank, is going to integrate XRP into Ripple's banking operations. It's a major step towards positioning XRP as a settlement layer for cross-border payments. By becoming a bank, Ripple ensures XRP can operate on a fully regulated environment. And we already know XRP is the only asset that has legal clarity stated by the judge in July 13th, 2023, stating that XRP is not a security. And Ripple has stated many, many times, even again this year, over and over, that basically the foundation of everything that Ripple is doing is XRP. And then also the SEC is now allowing a broker-dealer to take 2% haircut on stablecoins. Staff said the U.S. regulator would not object to broker-dealers counting stablecoin holdings toward their net capital requirements. So you can see the stablecoin boom that we're in, and a few have also said that 2026 is the year of stablecoins. Another thing I want to share, I think this is pretty big news, is that Taylor Lindemann has been officially appointed as the chief counsel of the SEC Crypto Task Force. And we want to thank, as stated from Chainlink, Taylor for his great 5 years as a key part of the Chainlink Labs team and his role as deputy general counsel. And we look forward to modernizing the U.S. financial system together, taking it to the next level of its development and rapid growth. An article from Chainlink, of course, congratulating him as he's been the chief counsel now for the crypto task force. And that is good that the entire new administration, everyone that has been replacing something, or I should say someone who's been an obstacle and creating friction in this industry, now they've been replaced with someone who is absolutely pro-crypto. And I think that is massive, especially if you are a retail holder, but even more so what this is all about on the future of money. And this was pretty interesting, too, to see Zebec Network saying they're partnering with Lattice Finance, the first neobank built on the Canton network. So this marks Zebec's entry into the Canton ecosystem, bringing real-time payments and card infrastructure to institutional-grade blockchain finance. We're excited to begin actively supporting the next phase of compliant on-chain capital markets. And if you saw the recent post that we had the past week where Canton had just finished and completed the first ever, I believe was institutional payroll. So it only makes sense that Zebec is now going to be partnering with Canton directly and or indirectly as well. So now coming back to XRP, and not to leave out Digibyte. Thanks for the comment earlier on my post, Digibyte, and congratulations to you guys as well. Digibyte had a post of more research found a unanimous consent calendar, let alone showing the dates and everything from the Arizona State Senate, because the Arizona State Senate, they had passed the reserves for the Arizona State for Bitcoin, Digibyte, and XRP. And I believe there were a few others, not intending to leave anyone out on purpose, but those were just the ones off the top of my head. And of course, if you follow this channel from the beginning, that XRP is a favorite here. But the Arizona State Senate unanimous consent calendar for Monday, February 23rd, 2026 at 9:12 a.m. The Senate rules provide for the use of a unanimous consent calendar to bypass committee of the whole and move unamended bills to third reading in order to expedite the legislative process. Members may protest any bill being so advanced by submitting the protest in writing to the Secretary of the Senate during the 48-hour posting period. Any protest will automatically remove the bill from the consent calendar, and all remaining bills will be placed on the third reading calendar. Protests must be filed no later than Wednesday, February 25th. Let me highlight that. Either way, 2026 at 9:12 a.m. And then if we come back here, Digibyte kind of just got it straight directly to the point for you. Right down here on SB 1649, Digital Asset Strategic Reserve Fund. And then I went ahead and opened it up as well right here on the very top. SB 1649, Digital Assets Strategic Reserve Fund, showing on the calendar. And then it's directly from the Arizona State Legislature's page right there. So I think there's a lot of exciting things going on, and I think if you're a holder, it really feels we've had so many delays, delay after delay after delay. But again, guys, this isn't a small thing. It's a global thing, and if you take a car full of friends somewhere to go get dinner, hardly ever is anyone going to agree, much less the entire car. And now we're doing this on a global scale with every single bank. So I think that's a pretty big deal. And as well, before we forget, there was, let's see, where was this from? The Board of Governors at the Federal Reserve, also following earlier actions to remove reputation risk from its supervision of banks, the Federal Reserve Board requests comment on proposal to codify that removal. And I want to scroll down really quick and read. I had to open this one on my phone because I just found it right as I was starting this video. It's I believe this is the one I was wanting to share with you. We have heard troubling cases of debanking, where supervisors use concerns about reputation risk to pressure financial institutions to debank customers because of their political views, their religious beliefs, or involvement in disfavored but lawful businesses, said Vice Chair for Supervision Michelle W. Bowman. Discrimination by financial institutions on these bases is unlawful and does not have a role in the Federal Reserve's supervisory framework. And I think there was a handful of people and companies who actually were debanked, or even on the minor scale where their credit cards were blocked and it was not approved for any kind of crypto purchases. And that's where the debanking came in. Once they saw they had any kind of connections and purchases to crypto, there were a lot of people in the community over the past, I think it's probably been since, 2020 or so, the banks really started stepping up the debanking. But it seems like now, as of today, they are going to have the clarity, and that should not start, continue happening moving forward. And guys, I'm trying to get back into this, so thanks for all of your love and all your support. It's been a few years. We took off, and I said I would kind of get into that, but it's kind of challenging and kind of tough once your channel is kind of demonetized. Kind of crushes a lot of the extra effort, but we're coming back with or without it. We're going to start making videos and keep you guys updated again. I know a lot of you're messaging me constantly to come back with videos because you listen to it on your lunch break, driving to work, driving home, jogging around the park or whatever. You'll just play it with your phone in your pocket. And there was a lot of requests to make these a little bit longer because for whatever reasoning, you want to keep that playing in the background as you're working or whatever you may be doing. So I'm trying to do my best to get more information, compile it together, and start getting into where we would leave off a lot of opinion and rambling, to try to keep the videos down to around 5 minutes. I think I'm going to try to start giving you guys a heads up at the beginning what we're going to discuss, and you can kind of shoot to where we're going to be on that. But I want to give you a little bit more information because the majority of requests are to make these a little bit longer. And, my apologies for a long time. We didn't do that. It wasn't on purpose, just because of scheduling. If you have a busy life, you understand what that is. But now we're just making some changes. We're trying to come back, trying to do things a little bit different and, stay more involved on the news and share a little bit more perspective. I think everyone knows perspective is what it is. And sometimes sharing your insight and your opinion on something is kind of nice because, within our little community groups that we have, sometimes we just sit there and we do these little brainstorming sessions and just discuss everything and kind of throw out our thoughts. And it brings a lot of clarity sometimes where you see something that you missed or you see different perspective, and it opens your eyes to what's going on into this new transition. But good luck, guys, with everything that you're doing. Those of you who are still here, still holding on, or who have returned or come back, congratulations, because, it really does now officially seem like the delays are fizzling out, fading out, dying away, and that it's really almost go time. Today there was so much more I couldn't even get to, but again, we're just coming back. The nervousness is fading. I'm getting used to everything again. A couple more videos, I should get back on track. And thanks again for all the support and all the love. And if you aren't subscribed to this channel, hit that like and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't even cost you a thing. And just to leave you with a final note before we go, be stronger than your excuses.